Hello guys, this is Ruby, a single parent who once had a beautiful family. This story is about how my husband lost the love of his wife and children. This happened a while back and I am already on the road to recovery. I just wanted to share my story so that no one makes the mistakes I did. I'm an avid painter and always had a great love for art. It's been this way ever since I was a child. My mother was a painter, and even though she didn't make it big, I admired her work. We belonged to a humble background, with my father being the breadwinner of the family. Even though my mother didn't work, my dad cherished her and praised her for taking care of the family. Naturally, I assumed that with love and respect, you can have a good marriage. Turns out I was wrong. I was a pretty shy kid in school. I was extremely introverted and did not have any friends. My grades were okay, but nothing to brag about. It was my dream to go to art school. My parents supported me no matter what, so I had my life set for me. That was until I met Chris in high school. We studied together for a few years, but never interacted. One day, he came up to me and introduced himself.
Hello, you're Ruby, right? I'm Chris, your classmate. I don't think we have talked before.
Hi Chris, what's up?
Actually, I needed a favor from you. I have seen your sketches in the school locker. I must say you are extremely talented.
Oh, thank you. Glad you liked them.
So the thing is, it's Mother's Day next week. I'm sure you know that. I was thinking about giving her some of your sketches. Can you please sketch my mum? In return, I can help you complete your math homework for a week.
I would be happy to help you, Chris. I actually hate math, so I'm good with the arrangement.
Great then. How about we meet at the coffee shop for the exchange? The treat is on me.
I was ecstatic that someone found my sketches interesting enough to make them a gift. Anyway, that's how I started to spend time with him. We met up at a coffee shop to exchange pictures and later sketches. Those meetings quickly turned into dates when he confessed he liked me. He was a straight A student with a bright future. I was flattered he even made time to hang out with me. Chris was a great guy in school. He stood up against bullies and was loved by almost everyone. It was easy for me to love him too. I got to know that his father had a small company.
You know, it's my dream to get a business degree and take my father's business to the next level. I'm just so proud of what he has created. One day I hope I can make it even more successful.
And I'm sure you will. I have faith in you. You will definitely get into your dream college.
I hope you get to study art and remain passionate about it. You have lots of potential. I connect with you due to your passion for art. I guess we are similar in many ways.
I love that you value my passion so much. You have accompanied me to all my competition and stood by me for so long. I remember when I won a prize at my school for painting, you were the one who cheered loudly for me. I was so happy to have such a supportive boyfriend. He took me to meet his family right before our prom. They were good people, and I liked them immediately. It was easy to see that they were great parents to Chris. I developed a close relationship with Tammy. We used to hang out together a lot before I left for art school. Chris also joined a very prestigious college as a business major. We were both following our dreams. I even took him to meet my parents on Christmas. They loved him just like I did. Sadly, when I was still in college, my parents passed away in a car accident. I was absolutely devastated. Chris was my rock through it all. He helped me arrange the funeral and calm me down whenever I had panic attacks. Even through the pain and grief, I could see that I can rely on him for anything. But I was totally wrong in this regard. 6 months after my parents passed away, I found out I was pregnant. It was a mix of happiness and anxiety. I had just lost my parents and didn't know how I was going to take care of a baby. My studies were also pretty taxing, and it was becoming difficult for me to balance everything. Tammy met up with me and told me that she will help me out. She actually moved closer to me so that she could babysit my child when I was in college. Chris's father was living in a different state, so he didn't mind if Tammy was living with me. With everything in place, we were looking forward to the birth of our baby boy. My family also came together in supporting me whenever I needed it. However, it all came crashing down after the birth of my son. I had a traumatic delivery. My son Daniel was healthy, but I had a hard time recovering. In the end, I had to drop out of college. Postpartum depression and my physical problems made it impossible for me to study. I was heartbroken, but my son needed me to be okay. Tammy and Chris were also my biggest support during this time. However, Chris slowly started to become resentful of me. He had to take up a new job to send money for our child. Chris couldn't go back to his party lifestyle after Daniel was born. When he came to see me, he said,
You know, I can't help but think this is your fault. I can rarely go out anymore while you are having a great time being home with Daniel. I'm the one working hard to provide for the two of you.
I'm sorry, Chris. You know I'm still in recovery. I'm trying my best to look for a job, but Daniel is very young and we can't afford a babysitter. Tammy is already working hard to help. Just give me some time, Chris. I will find something.
What job will hire you anyway? You have a useless degree that won't get you a job. You already spent most of your inheritance on medical bills. You are literally useless right now.
How can you say that, Chris? You knew studying art was my passion. You were so supportive of me when I joined college. I never imagined I would be in this situation. If there was any way I could help you, I would have. Just give me a few months to find a job. Chris simply got up and left. That night I cried a lot after putting Daniel to sleep. His words kept ringing in my ears. I decided that I would start looking for jobs as soon as possible. No matter what, I was determined to take the burden off Chris. Chris later called and apologized for his behavior. He told me that he was feeling down and his friends were putting ideas into his head. I forgave him immediately. Within 1 week I was able to get a job. It didn't pay a lot, but it was enough for the time being. Tammy took up most of the childcare when I was working. I made Chris quit his job so that he can concentrate on his studies. I didn't want him to overwork himself when he had to study so much. Times were rough, but we made it work. Chris was also slowly changing his behavior toward me. He promised to take care of me when he became financially independent. I told him that I loved him and only wanted him to achieve his dreams. After Chris graduated college, he was able to take over the business. His father was suffering from a heart condition and passed away within a year after Chris joined the business. Chris did his best to improve the business. His efforts were slowly starting to pay off. I had to quit my job to look after Daniel because Tammy was grieving. We didn't want to burden her with Daniel's care. Chris was making enough money to take care of us, so he wasn't bothered. Soon his business really took off. He actually achieved his dream and I was happy for him. We had big celebrations that I organized for him. Chris was really making a lot of money now. One day I approached him and expressed my wish to go back to art school. I still had some inheritance money left that could pay for 1 year. After that I would take up jobs to fund my education. However, Chris was not receptive to the idea. He said,
"Why do you want to go back to school? An art degree is useless anyway. It's not going to help you get a job. I think you shouldn't waste money on this."
"But this was my dream, Chris. You know I wanted to become a painter. You achieved your dream. What about me?"
"Well, my dream is bringing in the money. Yours is just a useless hobby. What good will that do for us? My friends will laugh at me for your dumb degree. I have to maintain our standards. You should be a housewife. Daniel needs you more." I was stunned and didn't know how to react. We argued for days and didn't reach any resolution. However, I was preparing myself to prove him wrong. I wanted to become successful and achieve my dream. Sadly, this was never to be. I found out I was pregnant. Again. This time it was a baby girl. Chris just became more pushy about me being a stay-at-home mum. He said that he works long hours and the kids need someone at home. So I had to decide to do just that. My children were my world and I was willing to do everything for them. My second birth was a little less traumatic. However, managing a toddler and a baby was extremely difficult. Chris was absolutely no help. All he did was work and then complain about being tired. He never looked after the kids. I must say I was surprised when Chris finally proposed to me. I thought he was trying to improve and that made me happy. We had a big wedding and that was extremely fun to plan. Chris pampered me throughout the process. I thought he was just doing it to make me happy. Turns out he was doing it to maintain his image of a loving husband. After the wedding, he was like I just didn't exist to Chris. He was working the entire day in his office. There were no date nights or even family nights. He never picked up after himself and only ordered me around. The kids were missing their dad. He wanted to be left alone when he was at home. I never asked him for help after he ignored my request the first year. However, my children's pain was getting to me. One day, I said, "Chris, why don't we have a family outing this weekend? The kids really get time with you. They miss you, you know." "I have a business meeting this weekend. You know I am busy."
"But you need to take time for your family, Chris. We're important as well. Daniel has been crying for you. You even missed his poem recital."
"What can I do, Ruby? I don't have a luxury to stay at home with them as you do. At least someone has to earn money, right? Well, a failure like you wouldn't understand. I suggest you stop telling me what I should do."
"Chris, what is wrong with you? Why are you insulting me like that? You know I wanted to go back to college. You didn't let me."
"Of course I didn't. Why would I let you waste money on that? You were better off investing it in my business. Look how much money it's bringing us."
I was extremely hurt by what he had said. I was looking past his neglect over the past years. However, it really hurt when he insulted me like that. It made me feel worthless. I should have walked away from him, but I didn't. I wanted my children to have both parents in one house. Dumb me thought Chris is just stressed and will apologize later. The apology never came. As the years passed, the kids got older and started to notice Chris's behavior. They were no longer attached to him. Gloria never had him as a loving parent, so she didn't have any attachment with her dad. Daniel still remembered his dad being more loving than now. However, the disappointment of not having him for any milestone quickly started to add up. I tried everything to make the bad feelings disappear. I begged Chris to pay more attention to the children. I said, "You need to make time for the kids, Chris. I'm already working like a slave and also looking after them. I'm the only one taking up parental duties. I know you don't want me anymore, but the kids are suffering. They have already become detached from you."
I know how to be a parent, Ruby. I'm the one feeding the three of you. You don't have to lecture me about improving our relationship.
When Daniel was a teenager, he started to resent his dad. I tried to make him understand that Chris loves them. He just wouldn't believe me. All his friends had fathers who were present in their lives. He was feeling like he missed out. I was there for all his events and achievements, but he wanted his dad there as well. One night, when we sat down for dinner, Daniel confronted Chris. He said,
"Hey, Dad, are you free this weekend? Gloria has been pestering us for a picnic. The weather is getting better and the time is perfect."
"Yes, it will be a great opportunity to hang out together. I will make all the preparations. What do you think, Chris?"
"No, will do. I'm going golfing with my buddies. Can't change my plans." "It's one day and you can't make time for us? Why did you even become a dad if you didn't want to be around us?" "Watch your mouth, Daniel. I am your father and you will respect me. I actually have work to do instead of sitting around like your loser mother. Ruby, what are you teaching my children? They don't even respect me anymore. I thought you just failed in your career. Turns out you can't even be a good mother." "Stop insulting Mum. She is a way better parent than you are. How do you expect Mum to have a career when you never helped her out? I'm not blind, you know. I saw what happened all these years."
"Stop it, Daniel. There's no use telling him these things. We have Mum and that's enough. He doesn't need to sacrifice his time for us. We can just go out with Mum and Grandma."
"See? At least one of you has some sense in you. I hope that ends this stupid discussion."
"It's okay, kids. I will take you out for a picnic. We will plan something with Dad later." I didn't want to make Daniel or Chris angry. I also noticed that Gloria spoke from apathy and did not take her father's side. She simply didn't care for his time at all. I always thought it was my fault. I could have fought with Chris to spend more time with us, but he never listened to me at all. By then, I also found out that he had been cheating on me. It was one of his business friends. I didn't confront him. I knew it would be useless. Daniel graduated high school and took off the first chance he got. He joined a prestigious college to study software engineering. Gloria, however, was all set to follow in my footsteps. She was an even better artist than me. She was adamant about joining art school. Daniel also supported her and told her to go for it, but I knew Chris would make me mad. When the conversation finally happened, it went like this.
"Gloria, you will be graduating this year. Do you have a plan? I mean, what are you even good at?"
"Don't talk to her like that. She is a good student, Chris." "Well, I am going to art school. Don't worry, I don't expect you to know what I am good at, Dad. I have Mum, Daniel, and my teachers for that."
"Art school? Ruby, did you feed my daughter your bullshit again? Gloria, you should know better than to waste your life like your mother. Do you want to be a failure like her?"
"Mum failed only because she had a husband like you. Thankfully for me, I have all the support and talent I need to be successful."
"Don't talk to me like that. There is no way I'm paying for this useless degree."
"Well, you don't have to. My teachers say I will get a good scholarship in no time. I don't care if you don't support me. It's nothing new."
"Calm down, guys. Chris, Gloria is really good at what she does, even better than me.
Please try to be supportive this one time." Chris just kept shouting at me for spoiling his children. He again called me a failure right in front of Gloria. After all these years of abuse, I had enough. I sent Gloria to her room before tearing into my husband. I told him that I was tired of him not appreciating me at all. I said, "I am tired of your verbal abuse, Chris. You have been a horrible husband to me. The only reason I stayed back was because of the children. If I had known you'd be such a bad father, I would have walked away sooner."
"Don't you dare call me a bad father. I'm the one putting food on the table. You're all nothing without me and my money."
"I would have made something of myself if you didn't stop me. You can keep your money, Chris. I don't need it. I'm getting a divorce after Gloria graduates. I am done with you."
You can't leave me after everything I have done for you. I deserve better from everyone. Done what, Chris? Cheated on me with your colleague? I know it all, Chris. There is no need for you to be a victim. I am the victim here. You deserve nothing, and you definitely don't deserve me. Chris was absolutely dumbstruck by my onslaught when I was done talking. He had his head on his hands and said nothing. I simply didn't care anymore. The next few days I started to prepare for my exit. I talked to Tammy, Daniel, and Gloria about my decision. All of them were supportive of me. They said, I am sorry he did this to you, Ruby. I don't know where I went wrong with him. His father would be disappointed with him. I can't believe he did this to you. Tammy, it's not your fault. You have been nothing but kind to me and my children. Chris is the only one responsible for his behavior. I served Chris divorce papers just after Gloria's graduation. Chris acted like he didn't see it coming. He was begging me to reconsider and that he would do better. He approached me and said, Ruby, please don't go through with the divorce. Give me a chance. I know I messed up. I don't know what had gotten into me. I still love you a lot, Ruby. I want to get better. Even the kids hate me. Don't leave me like this. You have made your bed, Chris, and now you have to lay on it. I stayed for too long. I gave you plenty of chances. I can't do it anymore. This marriage was over when you stopped putting in effort and cheated on me. I don't love her, Ruby. She was just an escape from the stress. She doesn't mean anything to me. I'm sorry I wasn't supportive of you. I can change if you just have faith in me. I don't care anymore, Chris. You have taken away every last bit of dignity I had. It's time I leave you for good. I deserve better than you. He tried his best to convince me. He even reached out to the kids to apologize. However, they wanted nothing to do with him. True to her word, Gloria got into art school with a full scholarship. Both Gloria and Daniel moved away and want no contact with their father. They wrote a heartfelt letter about his absence in their life and how much they saw him hurt me emotionally. I delivered him the letter when I met him for the divorce proceedings. He read those letters and broke down outside court. I did nothing to comfort him. I knew he needed to own up to his mistakes and better himself before they forgive him. Gloria and Daniel are now out of contact with their dad. However, I sat them down and told them, Kids, even if your dad was a bad husband, he did try to be there for you guys. No matter what, he is your father. He seems apologetic about his behavior. Can you guys give him a chance? No way, Mum. I want nothing to do with him. Mum, after everything, you're still taking his side? I am not taking his side, kids. I don't want to pressure you into anything. He is your dad, and I want you guys to have both of our support. If he is willing to try, you should think about giving him a chance. Finally, they agreed to talk to him if he gets better. I, with the help of Gloria, went back to college. I did get part of Chris's business because I invested my inheritance in it. It helped me pay for college. Chris has reached out to me from time to time to talk about the children. I do give him updates, but tell him to give him some time. He said he's in therapy and wants to make up for his mistakes. While I won't give him a chance again, I'm positive he will be able to rebuild his relationship with the kids.